Hello everyone, and welcome back to this 1/25th scale RC 1969 Chevy Camaro build. In today's video, I'll be installing the electronics, making some body mounts, and taking the car for a test drive. We're changing things up for this build as I'm letting you, the audience, make the decisions on how this car gets built. From the motor to paint and wheels, you the viewers will decide how this car will look. If you missed the first part of this build series, you can check out the first video linked below in the description. I want to thank everyone who participated in the first poll, which was to decide what motor to use in the car. It was pretty close, but the winner was the faster RF130CH motor, which will give this car a lot of power. I already had a RF130 motor and gear assembly ready to go, so I simply swapped it out with the N20 motor on the chassis currently. I did need to make a slightly longer drive shaft to transfer that power to the rear axle. Due to the larger size of the RF130 motor, there won't be room for any kind of detailed engine bay, as the top of the motor will be just a few millimeters away from the bottom of the hood. Being that this car is going more in the direction of speed than scale, I also decided not to add an interior, to allow more room for electronics and to keep the car lighter. Speaking of electronics, here's what I'll be using for this car. I spent some time deciding where to place each component. Obviously, this is much easier with no interior to work around. I used some double-sided tape to secure the receiver and shoe goo to hold the ESC to the rear, and the battery will go on the left side of the chassis. I did the best I could to tidy up the wires with some zip ties to make sure that they don't get in the way of the drivetrain. I used Velcro to secure the battery. Again, using double-sided tape, I placed the on-off switch facing the rear of the car. Here's a look at the chassis with all of the electronics in place. I binded the receiver to the transmitter and did a quick test to ensure everything was working correctly and made any settings changes that were needed. At this point, I couldn't resist doing a quick test drive. The car works great, and believe me, there's a lot more the motor can give, but I want to keep the speed reasonable in a tight space like this. The next task was to create some body mounts. To make them, I used styrene tubing and magnets, just like I've showcased previously. However, instead of going to the bottom of the interior, I placed them so they'll secure directly to the body, under the rear trunk lid and cowl. The tubes I'm cutting here will be glued to the chassis, and one magnet will be glued on top, along with one magnet being glued to the body. 4 magnetic body mounts will keep this body on very securely. It's important that I don't make them too long or too short, so the body will sit at the correct height. I want this car to have a slightly lower than stock stance. Here's a closer look at the front body mounts. I made 2 more mounts for the rear. The body sits perfectly on the chassis. All that's left to do now is glue the top magnets to the body, which I did using shoe goo. I cut some small pieces of paper to go between the magnets so I don't accidentally glue the two magnets together. I made sure all the wheels were lined up in the wheel wells and let the glue dry overnight. Here's the result. I spread on some more glue around the magnets to hopefully provide some additional strength. The car has a great stance and the body is securely attached, so I did some test driving. The car drives great and the wheels don't rub against the body at all, even with this lower stance. So far so good. I'm already really liking how the car is turning out. Again, I really like the stance and I'm looking forward to getting this car painted. All that's left to do now is the fun cosmetic stuff, and that's where you all come in. I went through my paint collection, and as you can see, I've got a variety of paint colors to choose from. Here's a look at some wheel choices if you think I should swap the Craigers I've got currently, along with some decal options, 2 optional grills, front and rear spoilers, and the bumpers. Once again, I'm leaving the decision on how to finish this car up to all of you, the viewers. Below in the comments, let me know what wheels, paint color, and other optional parts that you saw on the bench that you'd like to see used. Be as specific as you'd like, and if you see an idea already that's below in the comments, give that comment a thumbs up. Over the next few days, I'll be picking out some of the top comments and posting a poll on our YouTube community tab. The idea that gets the most votes is what will get built. Let your imagination run wild, and if you have multiple ideas, feel free to post them. To help make sure that you don't miss the poll, make sure you're subscribed to this channel and hit the notification bell to turn on all notifications. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you all come up with, and thank you to everyone who participated in the first poll. I'm very happy to see people excited and engaged with this project. And hey, if you enjoy this content and want to help support this channel, as well as live in a part of the world where wearing clothing is a required social standard, why not get yourself a Make It RC t-shirt? Now, I'm not going to give you a 6-minute sales pitch or a cringy song about buying my merch, but here's what I will say. Our shirts are made for us by a local mom and pop shop here in Dayton, Ohio. I know a lot of YouTube channels will have their merch made using one of those major platforms that handles all the sales, printing, shipping, etc. They're nice and all, but honestly, after some comparison, I do feel that the shirts we offer are superior in quality. They're thicker, the whites are less see-through, and the logo doesn't start flaking off after a couple dozen washes. Additionally, we're able to offer them much cheaper than if we went through one of those major companies, while still making more cash to fuel my RC addiction. Make content for this channel for you all to enjoy. Also, our shirts are here in stock at our shop, ready to ship as soon as you place an order. No waiting for them to be printed. Now, I know you're excited, but if that's still not enough for you, use the code in the description of this video to save an additional $2, valid for the next 48 hours. These t-shirts are the only apparel we offer currently, however we've been interested in expanding our selection, even playing around with the idea of offering a line of gray long sleeve sweatshirts. I've also been doodling up some ideas for future designs, but before we pull the trigger on having more items made, we want to move some of our current inventory first. So remember, if you want a Superfly tee, visit Make It RC. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, that was bad, I'll stop. Guys, thank you all very much for watching. I can't wait to see your ideas below, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you all again next time.